Right. Yeah, I just wanted to start the stream prematurely to have a quick kind of rant, or not necessarily a rant, but kind of make some observations about the current state of play with War Thunder, and at least why I kind of feel that they could do to improve it. I think, well, at least in my opinion, anyway. First up, what I was on about earlier on, I did actually do this earlier on my stream, but it was muted, so I decided to do it again. Yeah, with top tier aircraft being as expensive as they are to buy and to not necessarily maintain because they are quite cheap to repair, which is another thing that needs to be kind of addressed, I think. With them being top tier as in the last aircraft you get in that tech tree, or at least in that particular tree, or branch of the tree, even. I think what Gaijin could do, rather than as it is at the moment, is you grind all the way through every single aircraft to get down to the 86. I mean, obviously you don't have to play every aircraft. You can use premiums and grind through them that way. But to gain experience on the aircraft, you really need to fly them. Now, when you get to the top tier ones, you have to then do the same thing with the rest of them, and that's upgrade them. And that's no mean feat, to be honest, because of the of dynamics, or at least the combat at top tier. When you're at the top tier, every single, pretty well, not necessarily every single modification, but they all go to increasing the performance of your aircraft in one way or another. Albeit, well, for damage, for example, due to performance and turning characteristics, and also G tolerance as well. Obviously, you've also got more ordnance options as well as those, but this is beside the point. I did a rough calculation earlier on to figure out how much gold you're looking at to increase, well, to play through all of these without actually having to grind them, which grinding them would take quite some time, considering that, I mean, on average, you're probably going to get between 4,000 RP a game, or maybe a little bit more than that. It kind of depends on how well you do. I'm on about realistic battles, of course. Now, with the approximate calculation I did, it was roughly about 5,000 gold to fully upgrade this aircraft without grinding any of the modules. 5,000 gold. Just have a quick look. Sorry, that's premium account. 5,000 gold is £25 or euros. I think that's actually euros. But yeah, so that's about £20 of real money to fully upgrade that aircraft to make it as best as it can be. What I think that Gaijin could do is a way of reward for players that have persisted and got from tier 1 all the way down to battle rate 9 or 8.7, whatever is the highest battle rate aircraft in that particular branch of the tree. That aircraft should be fully upgraded as a way of a reward for the hard work that the players put in to get to that point. There are other issues that I will mention now as well. This is part of the reason to do with this as well. From what I've seen of the top tier aircraft, generally speaking, if you don't have the fully upgraded aircraft, you might be going up against someone that does, or generally speaking will have more upgrades than you will have, and therefore they will have an advantage. It might only be a small advantage, but when it comes down to things like, for example, with this aircraft, the Sabre, with firing practice shells in your default clip, which basically means that a quarter of your ammo is inert ammo. When I say inert ammo, I mean I was discussing this with Kota yesterday, and inert ammo is basically, it's a solid shot. It doesn't necessarily do anything well. The effects are kind of random, I suppose. People claim that it's made out of plastic. Some people claim it's just a solid shot of steel. I mean, what Gaijin have got in game is difficult to say, but I have seen a lot of shots that just hit the target and sparkle. That's where the term sparkly ammo or sparkle shots come from. Well, at least for War Thunder anyway. Now, whether or not that is practice rounds or bad connection with the server, I don't know. It's hard to say for most of the games without going back and reviewing them. But either way, that itself is kind of annoying, at least to say, yeah, because it's the top tier of that particular aircraft. I mean, other aircraft get practice shows as well, namely British and Japanese ones, but you won't find it very often on Russians, or in fact, I don't think you'll find it at all. If I have a quick look, for example, say Yak-1, and a second, let's do that. And there we go. Right, so default ammo is fragmentation incendiary tracer shell and on piercing incendiary trace on piercing incendiary shell as well. Now that's not got any practice rounds, and that's at tier 1. Okay, Sabre is at tier 5, which is down here. Now the MiG-15 BIS is down here as well. Let's have a quick look at the default clip of this, shall we? Default clip with a 23mm cannon on piercing incendiary shell and fragmentation incendiary tracer shell as well. That's 50-50 mix. For the 37mm cannon, it's high explosive fragmentation incendiary tracer shell, self-destroying, so it destroys itself after about 750 meters. And on piercing incendiary tracer shell, again, 2/3 are high explosive, and the final third being on piercing. No practice shells there whatsoever. Again, yeah, that's top tier. American top tier has the practice shells. So go and look at the German aircraft. I don't think these actually have the practice shell issue unless it's on the Sabre. No, they've not got the same issue. At least on the Sabre anyway. MiG, I don't think this has that problem as well. No. And surprise, surprise. Now with the MET-62s, I'm pretty sure that they don't have this issue. It's mainly Menegoschloss as far as I know. Yeah. So yeah, no problem there. But you look at the Tempest Mark 5, which is a premium aircraft. Bearing in mind, this is premium, so everything on this, when you buy it, everything is bought for you, unless you get it through an event. Premium aircraft, 7,100 gold. Default belt has practice shells in it. Now, you might be a bit confused about that, but you've got to remember that this is basically a British aircraft, and the British version of the Tempest Mark 5, this is, has the practice shell. Ta-da! There's no bias apparently. Now, if we look at the top tier jet for the Brits at the Meteor Mark 8, I think we'll find a practice shell there as well. And again, well, I think it's actually every single aircraft, probably even the Beaufighter. For the British, it has practice shell, yeah, in the default belt. This is the same for all Hispanos for the British. The only difference actually is on the Mosquito with the 57mm cannon, and that doesn't have a difference in belt anyway. So yeah, all Hispanos in the British tech tree have practice rounds. So you might be wondering about your sparkly ammo. That could be the reason, and possibly is. Now with the Japanese, as I say, this is pretty much the same for all of their cannon as well. I'm not sure about the Sabre. I'll just have a quick look. Yeah, 12.7. So no, not the same kind of problem. But yeah, all of these 30mm cannons on the right, RTY2s, I think the KI200 as well. Yeah, practice shell. They all have practice shells, and again, Gaijin have stated there is no bias towards any particular nation, but as I am kind of highlighting them now at the moment, but yeah, I think we know the truth. I'm going to call that a day for my little rant for the time being. There are other things that I'd like to cover, like the way that the matchmaking is currently set up at the moment, but I'll go through that in another video. Yeah, thanks for watching.